So let's look at the subject, and I'll tell you why I'm disgusted. So tonight looks like sex will be the topic of discussion. Now, sex isn't evil, for marriage is why God made it. But I know you're like, come on, that's too outdated. This is 2013, bro. We do it for recreation. Hey, this is even college, so we do it while we're wasted. But I want to take a look at the logic. Let's pop off the seal, and let's question something we thought was already a done deal. For example, take a rape victim, and once it's revealed, when her bruises go away, is she totally healed? No, the damage is lasting, and you can see it in her eyes. If it was just abused recreation, why did it ruin her life? I mean, if sex is just for fun, then why on earth does it take such a toll? Maybe it's because you don't have sex with a body, but you have sex with a soul. So let's get back and see who I used to be. Growing up, I never learned how to treat a lady. If I learned anything from my dad, it was leave the mom, ditch the baby. I don't say that to get sympathy, I say it to be real. Because according to stats, about 40% of you know how that feels. So I let the TV show me what the music already told me. No dad at home, so I let MTV mold me. And they sold me. So my life revolved around what girl I could get next. My life revolved around this girl named Sex. Shoot, I gotta confess, I'd get her on text, but it seems the longer we dated, the bigger the mess. But see, I've been there when my girlfriend was late in that time of the month. If you've been there too, you know you know what I mean when I say my heart sunk. I started to justify abortion. I would butter it up. But they don't have condoms for sin. You can't just cover it up. I didn't have a baby, thankfully. It's funny how I was pro-life until it happened to me. So dudes think twice before you desire her just 'cause she's hot. Because your body makes a promise whether you do or not. Sorry I digress. Let's get back to the topic. How there are guys in here who pressure her even when she says stop it. You're not a man. You're just a boy who can shave and put on a good cover. Because if you don't respect her when she says no, you certainly don't love her. So start studying her heart before you start studying her booty. Or maybe invest in the same amount of time in her as you do Call of Duty. I mean, what makes you think you have the right to get a girl and get naughty? You should have to touch her heart and her mind first before you get to touch her body. Because she longs to be accepted, she loves to be loved, and she gives herself up to another guy's lust. It feels good at first, and then it gets bitter, because the promise of satisfaction, it never delivers. She's like, see, 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 mm, see, she's like a man I don't want to. It's just too tempting. So she keeps opening up the present just to find that it's empty. And then she starts to get confused because she keeps getting rejected by all these dudes. They tell her on a scale of 1 to 10, she's a 2. But that ain't true. If she only knew that Jesus, he loves and accepts us even when we don't deserve it. He never rejects us. He heals us from the sin that totally infects us. He does what condoms can't. He emotionally protects us. I know some of you are like, this guy's whack, and you're going to want to indict me. But we got to think rightly, so I'll ask politely, can we really say this isn't true, even slightly? Touch the forbidden fruit just to realize it's poison ivy. Now you're numb and you're itching and jacked up on your psyche. You don't think you just do it like your name was Nike. Not realizing the consequences of sin is oh so pricey. So this last story is for those who think they're too dirty. This last story is for those who think they're unworthy. Read John chapter 8, the woman caught in adultery. Religious leaders throw her naked in the temple while she yells, "Don't murder me." Jesus, the law commands us to stone this woman. You hear the hate in their tone. Jesus pauses and then says, "Whoever is without sin, you can cast the first stone." I mean, can you imagine the sound? Silence all around. You hear footsteps walk away. You hear stones hit the ground. Jesus kneels down. The woman thought it was her demise. He lifts up her face. You see the grace in his eyes. I don't condemn you. Go and sin no more. I love and accept you. Mercy is yours. If you're anything like me, you're like, nah, it can't be. No, I can't see. Why would you die for me? Then I saw this then I saw the scene where I was redeemed. He reached out and touched me and said, "Jake, you're free." Instantly, I was wearing the brightest robe I'd ever seen, perfectly spotless and perfectly clean. So bright, in fact, I thought I'd go blind. I said, "Whose is this?" He said, "Actually, it's mine. So stop and think before you eat what society feeds you. Come follow the King. His name is Jesus."